Hello, everybody. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. My name is Professor Alvaro Leal, and I am your Wayland Baptist University Advanced Computer Applications Professor. Here we go. All right, guys. So in today's lesson, what we're doing is we're going to be looking at figuring out what would be the best printer for the cheapest price. Now, most people think if I go to Staples and I just buy a $29 printer, it's going to be the cheapest printer. Let's go do that. So you go, you got your little coupon, you cut it out from like newspaper, you're all happy. You go over there, you buy your printer, you come home, you install it. It works fantastic. Okay? You think you got the deal of the century. Okay, in today's lesson, we're going to learn that it's not just about the cheap printer that's going to make sense, right? What if I need to print 25,000 pages in 1 year? Would it be still a good idea to buy a $29 printer? Let's check it out. Let's watch the video. All right, guys?
So Susan and Tim both would like to buy a new printer. Susan says, "Would you help me pick one of these three printers? I plan to print about 15 pages each day. So that's 5 days per week. I want the total cost to be as low as possible. I expect the printer to last 2 years." You'll see that the Epsilon printer is only $29, and so you might think that is the best price at the beginning. Until you look at the supplies, and you'll see that ink is $40 a cartridge, and it will add up quite a bit. Tim, on the other hand, has a different request. He said, "I'm Tim. Would you help me pick one of these three printers? I plan to print about 500 pages each day." And so his printer will probably be different than Susan's. Let's look at the fine print. First of all, you'll notice that each cartridge on the Epsilon will only print 200 sheets, while at the other end, the Zero printer will print 11,000 pages for a cartridge. And so the initial price on the printer, even though it's high, may end up being less expensive per page. Here's a suggestion for how to set up your spreadsheet. We'll do columns B, C, and D for each of the printers. We'll put in a line for their initial purchase price, and then we'll put the yellow section for the cost of their print per page. And that's important because even though inkjet cartridges are less than laserjet cartridges, they don't print nearly as many pages. And then for each of these people, we'll have to compute their expected pages per day. So Susan is only expecting 15 per day. This is the number that she will actually print per year, and so you'll need a formula to calculate that number. Once we know the pages per year, we can estimate how much it will cost per year because we have and then the total printing cost will come here at the bottom. The total printing cost added to the initial purchase cost will give you the actual cost for the 2 years of Epsilon. And so your job is to figure out some of the formulas that would make these numbers make sense. Once you're done, you will highlight the final result and you will create a chart that will show the differences in each of these printers. Similar to the other problems, we're going to have a section for Susan, and then we'll copy the information to the right side, and we will compute Tim's numbers. And so you should have two charts when you're done, and find out what the recommendation is for each of these people. Welcome to the lab.
All right, guys. So that is how you do this. Let me go ahead and show you some ideas that would be great to have. So the first thing we want to do is we have Susan, and maybe we can make her red. We have Epsilon. Let's make this bold. Let's have the HB printer, the Zero printer. All right. And the purchase cost for the first one is $29. The second one is $149. The third one is $549. So notice that the cost of setup cartridges is $40. This one is $90. This one is $370. Pages it can print is 200, 1,000, and 11,000. And this one costs 20 cents per page. And how do I get that? All you got to do is you got to write equal sum. And you're going to do this one divided by this one. And that's how you get the 20 cents per page. And then this one is equal sum. You're going to put this one divided by this one. And then, of course, what you could have done is you could have just slid this over here, okay? Notice how now it has it. All right, now how do we get these numbers? Okay, so expected pages per year, 15 for Susan. That means 5 per week. That means 50 weeks in a year. That's 3,750 pages. So this one we want to do equals sum, and it's going to be 5. It's going to be this times this times this. Okay, and then we can just slide this to the right. You can just grab this, and then our equation will be added over here. Okay, notice now all the equations on all of them. Now, how do we get this one? This one's just going to say equals B12. Okay, so you just copy this over here, and then you slide this over here, and then now it all says equals C12 equals D12. Now, how do you get this? A printing cost per year. That's going to be it's going to be the multiplication, right? So you're going to take your cost per page times the number of pages, right? So this is going to equal sum. You're going to take your number of pages times the cost per page. And that should be your cost per year. And then you just grab this and slide it this way. Okay, now you notice each one has an equation. That has an equation as well. You're just multiplying the cost per page times the number of pages. And then you're going to have 2 years. So this one should equal sum. You're going to take this one times 2. Make sense? And then you're just going to grab this and slide it this way. And now each one should have its equation now. It's this one times this one. And this one is D15 times D16. All right, now how do I get the total cost? Well, the total cost is going to equal sum, and it's going to be this number, right? The printing cost plus the cost of the printer. And then you just grab this one and slide it this way. And so those are my 3 costs. Notice now they all have formulas. Okay, so in case this went a little more expensive, this was like $45. Notice how that would change everything, right? $29. Notice how everything changes. Okay, now they want you to do a printing cost. So you just cancel. I'm gonna just grab these 6 fields, and I'm gonna go insert. I'm gonna recommend the charts, and I'm gonna go over here and grab the bar chart. We're gonna do a bar chart. So, and then the series, we're going to go ahead and for series, we're going to put Susan. Okay. Or it already has Susan, right? Or we could say, instead of that, we could put I guess we could put cost. That's another thing we could put, right? Instead of Susan. But I'd rather just put Susan. Okay. It makes more sense. All right, we'll put Susan there. And then if we want to do the rest of it, all I would do is just grab these fields like this. I would do right click, copy. Then I would here go to this F field and do paste. So it'd be Control V as in Victor. And then I would move everything to the right. Like 2 fields. Maybe this one 3 fields. All right. And then of course we got to change this to Tim. And we might want to change the color to blue. All right, and then there's one clear distinction that he wants to print 500 pages. That's the one thing that's different. And that's going to make a big difference, right? If you're printing 5 pages per day. So look at the cost. It's $50,000 if you use the cheap $29 printer. So in the case of Tim, it doesn't make sense to buy a 29. In fact, in the case for anybody, if you're going to keep this printer for 2 years, you're going to end up paying $1,500 because of the printer cartridges. And you're only going to pay $800 if you use the laser printer. So it's always best to use the laser printer if it's got 11,000 prints per cartridge. All right, we're also going to do a chart for Tim. So we're going to select these fields. We're going to go Insert, Recommended Charts, and it's not recommending anything. So I'm just going to grab this bar chart up here, and I'm just going to change the title to here. I'm going to change it to Cost. And over here, I'm going to change it to Tim. Okay. And that should do it, guys. I mean, it's pretty easy lesson. It's not hard at all, but it teaches us a lesson that we would want to make a spreadsheet before we take a step forward. Like it says in the Bible, it says you need to view where you're stepping before you take a leap, right? So watch where you're going. So you have to always be careful. Don't think that the cheaper printer is the best deal. It turns out that the laser printer was the best deal in all cases. In fact, in Tim's cases, it's a big difference. Instead of $50,000, it's only about $9,000. All right, guys, that's it for today. We will see you next time. Bye-bye. And don't forget to put this into Blackboard. Remember, it has to have the formulas. Like these things have to have formulas. See how it has sum equals I18 plus I3. So all of these have to have formulas. This has a formula, that has a formula, that has a formula. Okay? That has a formula, that has a formula, that has a formula, that has a formula, that has a formula. They all have formulas, right? They don't just the numbers that appear. Okay, go ahead and submit it to Blackboard. Bye-bye.